And so what I just wanted to talk about for a few minutes, and then you guys can feedback if you want. And this isn't to brag, and it's not to bully people into believing what I believe or doing what I do. It's just not. I just want to make a case. I just want to make the case. And I make the case, I always make my cases with numbers. I just think that if you're in business, you don't make the case with how many auditions you do, though that usually helps your numbers. You don't make it with how many agents you have or how many big brands you've done work with. I think you make it with your financial numbers because that's what Google has to do. That's what Joe's barber shop has to do. They just deal with, black and white numbers. And so I was thinking again. I've been watching for the last few months a lot of voiceover people and coaches, especially talking about, well, summer slowdown. Just expect it. It's just what happens. Or every voiceover talent just has summer slowdowns. And so this summer, I'm trying to make $150,000. May was $20,849.50. June was $18,218.12. July was $19,897.83. And August was 21,000. I know we're not done with it, but I'm done calculating for this month. $21,244.45. So my total for this summer was $80,209.97 for the 4 months. But here's the thing. Now, if you've been following me, last year I tried to slow down. This year I'm slowing down. Last year I tried to slow down. And then the years prior to that, I was still trying to make as much as possible. So I'm just going to give you the numbers and you'll see them, and I'm not going to give you numbers for May, June, July, and August for each month. That would just too much. But I am going to give you my numbers for May to August. First for last year, $81,994.15. May to August of 23, $97,792.53. May to August of 2022, $113,597.54. May to August of 2021, $123,108.44. And May to August of 2020 was $125,282.17. So you can see that I did a video a couple of years ago. The title of it is I Don't Have Summer Slowdowns. I don't have summer slowdowns. And if you were to go back to the first year I made over 100,000, which was 2016, you would find that the numbers are much smaller, obviously, because I only made 137,000 for the whole year. But my numbers were consistent throughout the summer. I don't remember what they were. I could give you those because I kept track. I just went back for the last 5 years and just said that you can see by this year, $80,209.97. And every year for the last 5 years, I haven't had a summer slowdown. My point again is this. Here's my case. There's myths out there. One myth is summer slowdowns, everybody has them. It's a must. And I say that's a myth. You don't have to have summer slowdowns. Some people want to. They just want to take vacations and stuff, so they plan summer slowdowns. But if you plan a summer slowdown in this business, you're going to plan a fall slowdown. Sorry, you are, because people want you to work. And if you build a business like I've built it, you're going to have to be near your studio. That doesn't mean you can't take time off. It's just you're going to have to want to work and fill up your day with projects. Second thing is, here's what everybody says, you can't have consistent income in voiceover. You're going to have some months where you have $5,000, and then the next month $1,000, and then the next month $9,000, and then zero the next month. I hear that all the time, and that's just simply not true. You don't have to. And that leads to this. All of that talk leads to this. is how I've built my business is on those 7 building blocks of VO success. Who you listen to, mindsets, business mindsets I'm building here, business mindsets, processes, that is a simple business plan that works and work that plan, marketing, then audio and equipment, and finally performance. It's not chronological, it's logical. It's not that you never work on your performance until you have all those things. Of course, you work on your performance, but the vast majority of the industry is performance, 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 performance. That's what it is. That's what they talk about. And I just don't worry about performance as much as I worry about what's going on here. Because if I don't have this straight, I'm not going to be a good performer. I'm not going to even get to the performance side of things. And so things like we talked about way back, the first few Wednesday night webinars were the mindsets. And so Hudson, hold me to this. I'm going to go through those again on our fireside chats, maybe take 5 minutes or so and just highlight those. And if something comes, of interest, you can go all the way back to the beginning and look at our webinars. I think Jonathan has those in, timestamps, and it has it cataloged. And you can go back there and you can grab that one, because I think most of them I did less than 5 a night out of the 20. Those are the things I think that lay the foundation for not having a summer slowdown and having consistent income. And so I bring those numbers to you again, not to brag, not to say, do this or you're a bad person. You can do whatever you want, and I mean that wholeheartedly. Some people don't want to do 100 auditions in a week. They just don't want to do it. Or they're getting old and they just don't have the energy. That's why I'm slowing down. I just don't have the energy. I don't want to do that anymore. Could I do it? Could I build this back to $300,000 a year? Maybe, but I sure don't feel like it. I just don't have it in me anymore. I want to do other things, at my age. So everybody has their own path. I know we talk about that. Everybody has their own journey. But if you want to have no summer slowdowns, or at least not the ones that the industry talks about all the time, and you want to have some consistency in your income, then I think you have to do this, or you have to be super talented, kind of a unicorn. And there just aren't that many out there. And that's why, like I said on Thursday, and I'll wind up here, I said on Thursday, I think there's almost missing middle class of voiceover. There's a ton of poor people, 47% make $10,000 a year or less, and 6% make over $200,000. And I don't think it has to be that way. I think it's the teaching. I think it's the coaching. I think it's, what's out there. And we just keep banging our heads against the wall. And I'm not going to be around that much longer to bang, to bang this kind of information out. So that's not a threat. It's just that I used to do the 2 minutes of tough love. I just stopped because I don't think it's getting anywhere. So, and I'm not saying that about this group, but again, please don't feel like, wow, that's all those numbers at me. He's throwing this at me. He's telling me I got to do this. If I don't do this, you might find a different way to do things. And there are people that are doing things differently. And I think, at least what they say, they're winning. So